meeting, and the first since '88, as our lead official Billy Smith gets us ready to go. And Rhode Island wins the tip, an offense that was dominant in stretches in a win against Brown, the in-state rival, on Friday night. Landed here at 6 p.m. yesterday. And Toure with a quick air ball on the opening shot. This is the starting five for Tammy Reese, including Tisha Hyman, the Syracuse transfer. That's a big get at Tammy Reese's old stomping grounds.
Absolutely. She's a very talented player, and we're seeing both teams starting the man-to-man so far and being aggressive.
Here's the matchup down low. Magassa versus Baldwin, and Rivers blocked. This is a top 10 blocking team in the country in Rhode Island, really affecting shots.
Right, Magassa's averaging 3 blocks a game, and so you're going to have to take it stronger to try and draw a foul.
Look at Magassa on the glass. The Dayton transfer coming in. Tammy Reese hit the portal hard this summer. 3 new starters brought in via the portal. As Hyman misses her own shot, the Syracuse transfer. Westmore starting 5. All 5 can average double figures, including the birthday girl, Aziaha James, who turns 21, and she averages 21 points a game.
Right, and these are the 5 returners for last year, so they've gelled up very nicely so far.
River Baldwin about 6 points a night. Operates down low for the Wolfpack as the clock hits 6. Kick out Collins. Short on the 3. And this will be last touched by NC State. And then turned around.
Yeah.
It was Reynolds Coliseum crowd.
Yes, the fans were on that, certainly.
How important will rebounding be in tonight's match?
Oh, I think that's the main thing. Rhode Island's undefeated this year, 3-0 when they win the rebounding battle, and I know that was a big emphasis for Coach Reese, and that's always been a big emphasis for Coach Moore when he talks about this team.
There's the inbounds play to Hayes. The physicality was a big question for Tammy Reese and her staff. Could Rhode Island live up to the level of NC State, who's averaging over 85 points a night? And Baldwin off on the jumper. Look at Hyman going in there, and a jump ball earned by the Syracuse transfer. That's a play Tammy Reese will like.
Absolutely, yeah. She likes them being aggressive, but one of the things she was concerned about limiting NC State to 1 shot, and so far we've already seen NC State get a couple of extra opportunities. So I know that that's going to be something she's not going to like coming into that first time out.
Tammy Reese, a 3-time All-American at Virginia, has fond memories here at Reynolds Coliseum. We'll dive on that tonight, as James misses her first jumper, and both teams are off to a slow start.
Right, a little bit of early jitters here on a Sunday afternoon.
Rhode Island with the big win Friday had 4 in double figures, led by Toure. Here's the deep 3, and a nice start from downtown.
Yeah, Toure, as we said, she's got range to 3. She reminds me a little bit about Jada Boyd, who played for NC State last year, that could score at all 3 levels.
Toure had 22 points on Friday, but gives up the blow-by layup that time to Baldwin.
Absolutely great drop-off pass there by Madison James, and River Baldwin was able to just lay it in.
Rhode Island's not a huge three-point shooting team, only 5 made threes a game. Hyman with a nice step back, couldn't hit. When Hyman faced NC State at Syracuse in the ACC tournament, had one of her best games, 15 points.
Yeah, she earned all ACC honorable mention that season, and a very talented young player.
Facing a Wolfpack club that has scored with ease in the first 4 games. As Baldwin hits the jumper.
One thing I like NC State's doing is they're really taking it at Magassa. She got in foul trouble in their only loss this year against Maine, and if they can do that again, it's going to be a long night for Rhode Island.
There's Dee Davis, the grad transfer out of Manhattan, one of the all-time leaders in assists for the Jaspers. Now the matchup down low. Magassa, oh, banks it in. Nice move from Magassa down low.
Right, as you watch her on film, her ability to post up and make moves left and right is very strong. It's power fab worthy in the post.
Magassa was the 6th woman of the year at Dayton a few years back. Comes now to Rhode Island. James creates some space. Can't hit the jumper, however, and an offensive board for Baldwin.
She needs to get that first basket on her 21st birthday. Get started.
Instead, the kick out to Hayes. Nice pass to River, and a block. Magassa says no. A second block. It's Magassa's house here in Raleigh, leading the fast break. Davis misses the drive. Look at Toure fighting for the board. And who's got possession here? Rhode Island comes out with it. How about the physicality early?
Oh, it's amazing. And one of the things we wondered, would Rhode Island be a little bit nervous?
They are not afraid of the moment. Toure there with the jumper.
Absolutely. They are not afraid at all. They've come out. They got the 7-4 lead here, and NC State needs to match their intensity right now and try and bring this game back to even.
Tammy Reese said, can we match the physicality of NC State? As Saniya Rivers off on the jumper. Wolfpack shooting below 30% early. Came in a top 10 scoring team in the country. Look at the ball movement. Everybody touching it, including Sophie Phillips at the three-point line. Collins on the switch with Magassa. Gets into her bag and misses the jumper.
Right, and with Mimi on her, she's got a little bit more athleticism, was able to slide over and contest that shot.
Rivers, tough angle. And that will stay here for NC State.
Good job by River Baldwin crashing the boards there. She didn't get the ball, but she was able to force a mishandle, and now NC State will get it out of bounds underneath.
Derek, this is a 2 of 11 start for NC State. How do they settle things down?
You know, the shots that I'm seeing right now are good shots. They're just not making them. So I really think they just need to stay relaxed, keep doing what they're doing, and I think they're going to start to fall for NC State.
The Wolfpack team had scored 90+ in 3 of the first 4. As Collins hits the jumper. There's a big number to watch for Mimi today at 8 points away from the 1,000.
Absolutely. That's such a big career milestone, and we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on.
Phillips, the all-time three-point shooting leader at Rhode Island, dumps it downstairs, and a nice pass to Awa Kamara, who checks in, a redshirt sophomore.
Right, yeah, that was a quick sub there by Coach Reese, but she's a very solid player coming off the bench for the Rams.
One of 6 French women on this roster, and we'll dive into that today.
Absolutely.
Tremendous talent. Now down low, Baldwin, nice position. That's a good entry pass from NC State.
It really is, and I'm really seeing NC State put a big emphasis on going inside today and get it to River and get it to Mimi.
There's a block for Baldwin. Impactful first quarter. What a dime to Hayes, just ahead of her. And Olaying the bench. Well, you're not entertained here in the first 5 minutes. We'll take the timeout. Rhode Island, NC State, up for a challenge here in this first quarter.
Greatness is.
Here's head coach Wes Moore in year 11. Fresh off a nice start, 3-0 for NC State. They're searching for their 11th time in 12 years, starting 4-0 and better. And Coach Wes Moore, he was cooking a little bit on that sideline, getting his team back in this game.
Yeah, exactly. I know that NC State hasn't been shooting very well so far, but they're crashing the glass. They're getting 5 offensive rebounds through this first 5 minutes, and that's one of his big points of emphasis for the Pack.
Searching for win 804 today. You see some all-time legends currently in the sport. Gino, Tara Vanderveer, a future ACC foe, by the way.
And Wes Moore's right up there with him. I mean, he's one of the legends. He won a ton of games at Tennessee, Chattanooga, and now at NC State.
How about Rhode Island coming into Raleigh, competing hard in this first quarter?
Absolutely. Coach Reese talked about she just wanted her team to compete with discipline and high energy, and so far that's what we've seen.
Kamara with the missed layup. NC State on this end only shooting 30%. How about a steal here? Good hands by Davis. DD attacks and draws the foul on Rivers. That's a huge grad transfer to Manhattan. 90 career starts and an excellent ball handler.
Yeah, she's a very solid player. Was a 2-time All-MAC first team and also second team and All-Rookie. So for 4 years, she was an All-Conference performer with the Jaspers.
We asked about DD, and Tammy Reese said, still trying to learn our system, get up to speed of running the point, but has been impressed with her veteran leadership in these moments.
Right. Anytime you get someone out of the transfer portal who's been in a different system for their whole career, there is a little bit of an adjustment period, but you're seeing that she's really getting more and more comfortable with each game.
Rhode Island, not a tremendous free throw shooting team, only 69%. Not like Wyoming, who's at 92% in the first week of the season, leads the country.
Wow, apparently Wyoming's where to go if you need to hit free throws.
I knew altitude was good for baseball hitting the ball. I didn't realize it was good for free throws.
Exactly. Well, maybe they're going to research that just a little bit and see.
It's a hidden trick of the trade.
That's right. NC State's going to run a set here to try and get a good shot, try and get through that poor shooting percentage.
That's an offensive foul. Nice job by Sophia Vital out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, drawing the charge.
Yeah, Sophia's a freshman that first couple of games didn't play that much, but in the last game against Brown, she got 9 points with a career-high 23 minutes. She's earned her way onto the court, and plays like that's going to keep her there. There are 4 true freshmen and 3 transfers coming in for Rhode Island. This is a young team. It definitely is a young team, so there is some adjustment, but they've got some veterans, too, that's why they've been picked first in the Atlantic 10. Fresh off a 26-win season, 4 starters gone. Vital with a nice find at Toure.
A bit strong on the three. Offensive board. And the Rams will reset.
Kamara averages 3 offensive rebounds a game, so she crashes the glass, and that was her first one right there.
Ball screen action here for Rhode Island, creating some space. Trying to feed the post early. Hyman late in the clock, misses the triple. And that gets tipped back into play.
Good job by River Baldwin there, preventing the offensive rebound.
James drives, is stripped, and good defense by Rhode Island.
A lot of contact there, but
moving in the head. Transition buckets, a big key for the Rams coming in, according to Tammy Reese. Toure on the spin. Look at the fade away, an air ball, and an offensive board.
Another one there for Kamara.
The clock did not reset because of the air ball. Nice find to Toure, and great passing from the Rams. How about that ball movement?
That was incredible. They drew the defense, went down low, and it left Toure wide open for just an easy bunny.
Rhode Island is shocking the fans here at Reynolds at NC State.
Right, the fans are definitely getting a little restless. We're expecting different outcome in this first quarter.
Here's James 1v1 against the freshman. Aziaha, one of 5 players in double figures for NC State coming in, and a reach-in foul on Vital.
Now, I know Rhode Island got a foul there, but I've been impressed with how physical they're being with NC State. NC State's not being able to get good screens or good cuts. I think Wes Moore is going to talk to them about having to be sharper and be more physical as well and match.
This is a step up in competition from the likes of Elon early in the year, the likes of Charlotte. And this is a big test because according to Charlie Cream, this is week 1, Rhode Island is a projected 12 seed in state, a top 5 seed.
Exactly. So that 5-12 matchup, this could be a preview of the NCAA tournament in March.
An and one for the freshman Zoe Brooks, who's wasted no time in her NC State debut.
Yeah, Zoe is so talented coming out of New Jersey, was ranked number 9 in the ESPN top 100, and she immediately has fit right in and has been scoring in double figures. As we mentioned in the open, as soon as she got in, she was able to put some points on the board.
Brooks gets 3 points in about 3 seconds. Which will force a substitution here with the foul trouble.
We see 3 of the 4 fabulous freshmen that NC State has on the team. Top 4 recruiting class, the best recruiting class in school history.
Mallory Collier comes in, and also Maddie Cox, both freshmen. Down low to Magassa. This is the matchup. Magassa pounds in, but misses the jumper, and that'll stay here. That's a matchup that Rhode Island might try to exploit here.
Absolutely. When they see the freshman in there, Collier, it's going to be a challenge for her to keep up with the 6'5" Magassa, and so they're going to pound it inside and see if she can finish.
Magassa from Morsange-sur-Orge, France, one of 6 Frenchmen on the roster.
Yes, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but the associate head coach at Rhode Island, Adni Amadou, is from France himself and has done a great job with international recruiting.
Good kick out. Davis off on the 3. Both teams shooting under 30% tonight. Good shot fake, Hayes, and the rejection. Magassa's having none of it. In transition, Hyman the step through, misses the reversal. Offensive board. Nice kick out. Hyman again. Can't hit. And Hayes earns the rebound, but a foul on the freshman Maddie Cox, and that sends Wes Moore into a tirade.
Yes, NC State's coaching staff very displeased with that. Looked like Madison Hayes jumped straight up for it, but they must have thought she undercut the Rhode Island. Yes, right there. Oh, it might have been Maddie Cox right there that undercut Nell Dutat, who's one of the best athletes on the Rhode Island team. Tough call for these fans, but probably the right call at the end.
Hyman in movement. Look at the glass usage. That's a Syracuse transfer going to work.
Yeah, and that was a great hesitation dribble. She was stopped by Saniya, but the hesitation was she was able to get to the glass.
Brooks with a quick shot in transition, not able to go. And here's Rhode Island up 4 on the road, searching for a first Power 5 win in 2 years since they went to Virginia and beat the Cavaliers.
Right, that's Coach Reese's alma mater. I'm sure that was a big win for her. But this would be her first ranked win because it is the first time that they've gone against a ranked team.
Look at Hyman into her bag and knocks in the jumper.
Yeah, obviously, having come from Syracuse, she's played in this building before. She's very comfortable so far.
What a start for the Rams, led by Hyman, the Syracuse transfer. NC State can hold for the final shot of its lowest scoring quarter so far this season. Here comes Collier on the screen. Rivers on the switch. Gets it in, and that will end the first quarter for NC State.
Very impressive drop post presence with all of these French players.
Year 5 at Rhode Island for Tammy Reese. Her and Odney have been hand in hand at a couple of stops.
Yes.
And brought in big time prospects with Magassa going down to work. Missed it. Hyman cleans it up. What a nice offensive board.
Yes. First of all, Collier with a great job again against the talented Magassa, but NC State is not finishing it by getting that board.
Meanwhile, on the offensive end, the Wolfpack are 6 of 18 from the field, and Magassa is called for a first foul.
That's something to keep an eye on. As I said, against Maine, she got 2 fouls early. All right, let's see this with Magassa. She got a nice post up. And if you'll see coming in, there was no box out on the backside right there by Madison Hayes. She's a very strong rebounder, but just Hyman was a little bit too quick on that one.
Tisha Hyman wants to prove something. She really struggled in Raleigh in last year's matchup, had 0 points, but scored 15 in the ACC tournament over in Greensboro.
Aziaha James with 0 points so far. It is her birthday. I wonder if she's putting a little bit more pressure on herself to have a good game.
Back down low to Toure. Little forced shot, and it bangs in.
Wow, that was an excellent shot. It was almost like a half little baby hook.
That was steal for Hyman. And look at Rhode Island making things happen in the press.
They absolutely are. Coach Moore is going right to a timeout right here. He's displeased with how NC State is handling the basketball. Too many turnovers.
We'll take a quick timeout. Rhode Island up 10 here in the second quarter.
Geico makes car insurance as easy as loving Parmesan.
Say when.
Rhode Island on the road out of the A-10, off to a hot start, and it's led by an ACC transfer, Tisha Hyman, who was a top 30 transfer in the portal of all of basketball. What a nice debut.
An excellent debut. As you mentioned, she struggled here last year, but she has come on strong, and you don't typically see transfers that are rated that high go to a mid-major like this, so it's a great get for Coach Reese.
That was 4 points in about 3 seconds, leading to a timeout by Wes Moore. Largest deficit in about a week for NC State since the UConn game. And now a steal for Magassa, who lost the ball and got it back.
Boy, she might have got away with a double dribble there, but they just said that she lost the ball.
Right out in this second quarter, 3 of 4 from the field.
We're seeing possibly a little bit of a zone here for NC State. Maine did that against Rhode Island and really was effective a couple of games ago against the Rams.
You see Tammy Reese calling out the plays in the middle of the possession. Toure to Magassa, lost it in the paint, falls to the floor, and a 3-second violation.
Right, and you'll see that a lot when somebody loses the handle. They just don't have time to get it back, but I think it's a good move by Coach Moore. He saw how much they struggled against the zone, and he's going to force them to make some three-point shots. In that Maine game, they were 1 for 22 from 3, so that's something for us to watch as we continue.
What does this say about NC State switching to a zone early in the second quarter?
Well, I think that just shows a tremendous amount of respect for Rhode Island. They recognize what a strong team this is.
Brooks forces one up and can't hit. Now Rhode Island, who loves to play in transition with Hyman. That's a great zone beater, moving up and down the court.
Sophie Phillips, the best three-point shooter on the team. We'll have to keep an eye on her against this zone.
Phillips lets it fly. Off on the 3.
Good defense there by Zoe Brooks to force a tougher shot.
Saniya Rivers turns it over. Not much in her way there, just a sloppy mistake for NC State.
Yeah, she just sort of took her eye off the basketball and lost it into the corner. Looks like NC State's going to stay in this zone.
What's the adjustment now if you're Rhode Island?
Well, they still want to get the ball inside because Magassa and Toure, zone or man, are still going to be very strong underneath there. But then you got to spot up your shooters, and hopefully you can hit one of those shots if you're wide open.
Phillips is the three-point arsonist. 7 threes coming in.
NC State really sagging in, giving that perimeter shot if they want it.
Toure gets his shot. That was a good look. Unable to hit.
I think this is a good move for NC State to just change the momentum of the game.
Aziaha James yet to get on the board for NC State. 0 of 5 from the field. And came in as a top 10 scorer in the country. There's Collier, who remains in after that first quarter. Rivers down to 6. James with a great shot fake and hits her first bucket. How will that heat up Aziaha James?
That will really just build her confidence, finally just break the ice after a tough first quarter. I think we might see her make a couple more baskets coming up soon.
All of a sudden, Reynolds comes to life in this second quarter. Phillips for three. That's a bucket that Rhode Island needs, and the rebound to Collins.
Another good challenge there by NC State. Mimi Collins coming out.
Collier running the court, wide open layup, and here the Wolfpack back within 6.
Right, the freshman to freshman connection from Zoe Brooks to Mallory Collier. Big bucket for the Pack.
Davis wanted a foul, unable to earn it. Rivers.
Here's that transition game.
Look at Collins, great post position. The senior with the step through and able to finish.
Great job with the step through, and Coach Reese is going to have to go to a timeout right here.
We'll take a quick timeout. NC State, a 6-0 run in the blink of an eye.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
Bojangles?
Well, you don't want my cooking. Well, okay.
This holiday, order your family's favorites in the Bojangles app.
Now that tastes like home.
It's bow time.
NC State riding a 6-0 run and holding Rhode Island scoreless in the last 3 minutes. A Rhode Island team that had to have a big win against its in-state rival Brown on Friday have come out strong, and now the Wolfpack starting to bounce back.
Right, and it's really been coming from the freshmen, Zoe Brooks and Mallory Collier. Mallory Collier is having a big impact here.
Nice pass. A fake on the 3. Oh, and an offensive foul. Little indecision there from Inez DeBraz, and it leads to a turnover.
Yeah, interesting on Torre there. They called it with an illegal screen as she tried to drive.
That's Toure's first foul. Magassa also has one. The Wolfpack have Rivers and James with a couple of turnovers and 1 foul each. These are big minutes with Magassa on the bench for Rhode Island. Collins comes up short. 6 points shy of 1,000 in her career.
That's one of Westmore's favorite plays there, that post-to-post screen.
Toure gets into space. Rhode Island's ball movement, everyone touches the rock on a possession.
Yes, they're playing with a lot of energy, as we expected.
Down to 10. Oh, the steal for Rivers. Saniya 1v1. Creates contact and wanted a foul, but it'll stay here.
You know, it felt like NC State needed a little bit of leadership, and Saniya Rivers has been that all season, right there with a big steal. It was a cross-court pass there, and Rivers could see it. She's so quick with the ball. It was just so quick on defense. Then was able to take it all the way. Couldn't get the finish, but luckily NC State was able to retain possession.
Hyman and Rivers there gotten a bit of a tussle fighting for the rebound. Very physical Rhode Island team tonight. Collier is intercepted. Magassa with the steal. Dede the kick out. Phillips the drive. She is trapped. And Rivers comes out with it. Only the 3rd turnover for Rhode Island tonight.
That's one of the keys of emphasis by Coach Reese, was to take care of the ball.
NC State only shooting 35%. Such a change from the first 3 games. Rivers left alone. Comes up short. And a loose ball. Rhode Island comes out with the board.
NC State still cold. Getting open shots, just not putting them down.
Here's DeBraz, one of 6 French players on the roster out of Paris. So far, it's Hyman with the 8 leading the charge. Nice pass. Hyman wants 11. Can't hit. And Collins has the rebound.
You're seeing how effective this zone is by NC State. The Rams are in a drought. Been stuck on 23 a long time.
4.5 minutes. Rhode Island has not scored. And NC State was down 10 just a minute prior.
NC State's offense a little stagnant. They need to drive.
That's a blocking foul on Dutat.
That's a great job by James there, recognizing that you've got to attack that when that ball screen, when they try and hedge, you've got to attack it, able to force an easy foul.
Look at the foul discrepancy in the second quarter. NC State 2 away from the bonus, where the Wolfpack made a perfect 17 of 17 earlier this week from the free throw line.
Yeah, well, they're one of the top 10 free throw shooting teams in the country right now.
James with a nice pump fake, putting on some NBA-like moves. The spin, the pass, and Collier took way too much time.
Don't think she was expecting that pass right there.
Instead, Brooks heaves it up, and Magassa is called for the foul. That's a big one, the second on the post player.
That is a huge foul right there. Give credit to Zoe Brooks for taking it right at her. Had to sort of force up a bit of a shot. Let's take a look right here. She's able to beat Hyman on the drive. Little bump there from Magassa. You know what? If she wouldn't have brought that arm down, I think she would have gotten away with the body bump. But the body bump plus the arm, they were going to have to blow the whistle.
So that sends 10 and Magassa to the bench.
Absolutely.
The 8-10 leader in blocks. And Brooks cuts this to a 3-point game.
She's had such a tremendous impact on this game. Now Coach Tammy Reese is going to just try and get through these 4 minutes with her on the bench, hopefully, for the Rams' sake.
The Rams have not scored since the 8-minute mark, needing a bucket. This zone defense causing trouble. Toure has it tipped. Throws it underneath. Look at the ball movement here. Hyman on the attack. Oh, hard find to Dutat.
Great help defense there by the Pack. Forced the turnover.
Brooks 1v1, gets to her space, but can't hit.
That's one of those moves that made her one of the top 10 recruits in the country. Just couldn't.
What a find to Dutat, and that stops the 6-minute drought.
Yeah, that was a mistake by the Wolfpack there. Whenever you miss a shot, if you don't get the rebound, you got to get all the way back.
Look at the vision of Hyman. She has 8 points, now 5 rebounds, a couple of assists, doing it all for Rhode Island.
She was a big get for Rhode Island, and we're seeing why today.
Entering the final 3 minutes of this entertaining first half. James with the bullet and the rebound to Rhode Island.
You can see the frustration visibly on the Wolfpack players right now.
Back in transition, a missed layup and an offensive board leading to DeBras. Short. Rhode Island's getting some good looks in this stretch.
They really are.
Just 1 of 8 from deep. NC State feeding Collins, who's now 4 points from 1,000 in her career.
Excellent turnaround right there. Just kept it simple, passed into the post, turnaround jumper.
Tammy Reese comes out from her bench wanting some ball movement.
I think Rhode Island really needs to try and penetrate against this zone. They're just passing around the outside right now.
Toure dives into River Baldwin, switches feet, and bangs it home. That's a big bucket into double figures.
That is a huge bucket. Well, she's one of the captains on this team, and when they needed something, they went right to her.
And the folks in Raleigh wanted to walk right there.
Right. It was, she may have slid a little bit, but it looked like a good, strong move to me.
Rivers into great space, uses perfect English to bank it in.
Wow, great pass there by Mimi Collins, too.
The French and the English always have good battles on the pitch.
Yes, they do.
And here at KO Court, 2-point game under 2 minutes to go.
You have to expect Rhode Island to keep going back to Toure.
This zone defense is causing trouble for Rhode Island. And Dee Davis misses the jumper. What a pass. Brooks into contact. And an unfortunate blocking foul there if you're Inez DeBras.
Yeah, we talk about Saniya Rivers being the point guard for NC State. She's got tremendous vision.
This is point guard-like levels.
Yes. From the angle we had, it didn't look like there was even a chance for the ball to get through, but she saw it even better than us. Was able to get Zoe Brooks with an opportunity and to get to the line.
The Wolfpack are in the bonus the rest of the way. And Westmore noted in the comeback win over then number 2 UConn, Zoe Brooks was one of our biggest offensive weapons in the middle of that game. We're seeing elements of it here.
We really are. I remember there was 30-22 in that game, and Zoe Brooks hit 2 quick baskets, and then Maddie Cox hit a 3-point shot that really seemed to turn the momentum, and we're seeing that again today.
That ball is saved back to River Baldwin, who has the mismatch here, and then a steal. Toure now on the run and settles it down. Rhode Island has scored 3 points in the last 5 minutes. It's been a tough stretch.
Credit to their defense for keeping the lead.
And Phillips misses the triple. That ball will go out of bounds to NC State.
We're really seeing Rhode Island struggle from the 3-point line. They're 1 for 10 again today. It seems to be their Achilles heel, and that's why Coach Moore switched to his zone. I would expect we'd see a lot more of that in the second half as well.
Rhode Island last season was in the bottom 10 in the country in 3-point makes. Not a specialty of Tammy Reese's club.
Which is ironic because Tammy Reese was such a good 3-point shooter as a player.
A 3-time All-American at Virginia. Here's Baldwin downstairs. Oh, there's a travel. And then a tackle on the back end of it. A lot of contact. because Baldwin was moving that pivot foot like an ice skater in the middle of Christmas.
Right. And she got really frustrated there because she was trying to make the move.
Watch that right foot.
Yeah. Let's see.
Just a little, just a little, just a little more, and there's the trap.
Yeah, a little bit of a hip check there, but you saw what Torrey, she kept her hands up by not bringing them down. She was able to.
Glory days with Will Ferrell holding you up on the ice skates.
No, definitely not.
Last 30 seconds of this first half. What do you want with the rock here for Rhode Island?
Well, I think if Hyman out there, if you can get her the ball, sort of a drive and dish, you give her a chance to come off of that right here.
Here's Hyman with 8 on the clock. Hyman dumps it back out. Touré is doubled, spins away, comes up short. Detot the rebound. And did that hit the rim?
Boy, I thought it hit the rim, but they didn't.
Did the clock reset? It did not, but it should have.
Right. The shot clock did not reset.
Ironically, that would have been Rhode Island's first 3 in almost a quarter.
Right. Sophie Phillips, such a good shooter, finally got one to go. Oh, they're going to
count the three-pointer.
Wow. Okay, well.
Okay, Sophie Phillips hits the 3. Let me do a Mike Breen here. Bang!
Yeah, well, I guess normally when the horn goes off, even if it's inadvertent, they would stop the play, but if they said
and the shot was going off as the buzzer went off,
right?
So it's a continuation of the clock.
Right. If the shot was in the air with the inadvertent whistle, then it will count, and that's what they argued here.
Okay, 4 seconds left. Rivers on the attack, tries her own 3, and bangs it off. That ends a wild first half. Rhode Island comes into Raleigh up 4.
She has in every other stop along the way.
Coach Reese said her next challenge is winning a gold medal with Team USA in the 3v3. She coaches alongside Kara Lawson.
Yeah, she does. She coaches that 3v3 team, which is now a new Olympic event.
Good block from Touré to start the second half. And that's been the story for Rhode Island, affecting NC State shots.
Right. And so maybe NC State shied away from penetrating, but I think they've got to keep doing that because that's how they're going to get more open looks.
Wolfpack have trailed at 1 game at half this year, and that lead dwindles quickly on the Baldwin bucket.
There it is. Madison Hayes penetrated, drew the defense, was able to dump it off for the easy layup.
How about Hyman moving quickly in a forced shot in transition?
I think you're going to see a different NC State team in the second half. Their leadership, they've been playing together all season. I think it's going to shine.
NC State at number 14 in the country, back in the polls this week after a huge win over UConn, where Baldwin is blocked by Magassa. And a second block.
Wow, 2 more blocks for Tenan Magassa. She is really incredible now.
Ahead to Touré. Lovely transition from Rhode Island.
Wow, a post-to-post fast break.
And now Touré's down after that layup.
Wow, she went up for the layup and was a little bit of contact. I didn't get a chance to see it exactly. She's reaching maybe for her ankle.
Let's hope Touré's okay. Really slow to get back up.
She's such a talented player. I would hate to see her go out. She's hobbling a little, but looks like she's going to stay in, so that's a good sign.
And Derek, this has been a strength of Rhode Island, running in transition off a missed basket.
Right, and we talked to Coach Reese before the game. Are you going to slow it down against this fast NC State team? And she said, no, we're going to do what we do, and that's what we've been seeing.
This would be Rhode Island's biggest win in 2 years since upsetting Virginia on the road at the Cavalier Classic. And a foul drawn.
Well, and to be honest, this would be such a bigger win. You know that UVA team has been struggling a little bit in the last couple of years. This would be a ranked win, would probably be the biggest win in a long time, if not forever, for this program. So far, we've seen Saniya Rivers, Madison Hayes, and Aziaha James drive to the basket on 3 straight possessions in the first minute. I feel like that was probably a point of emphasis by Coach Moore, and they're putting it into action.
That's a second foul on Touré, so she exits. And Anel Detot comes in with James hitting the first free throw.
The trainer actually is going to take a quick look at Touré's ankle. We see her sort of stepping behind the bench to be looked at. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
NC State has now made 24 of its last 25 free throws dating back to Wednesday. That's hard to do.
That is hard to do, and that's testament to a lot of practice. Give them credit.
Wolfpack back within 2. What's the answer here for Rhode Island?
I think it's always to get it into Magassa and see what she can do.
Magassa bangs bodies, gets the double. Davis spins, no foul. Nice jumper from Dee Davis.
The transfer from Manhattan. She was able to get James off of her feet, had the wide open jumper.
Dee led the Jaspers in points, rebounds, assists, and steals last year. As that's a sloppy pass from River Baldwin.
Yeah, James tried to cut back door right there, and River Baldwin wasn't thinking that was going to happen. So another careless turnover for the Wolfpack.
NC State giving the rock away. 9 turnovers to only 5 for Rhode Island.
Interestingly enough, NC State went back to the man-to-man here. We'll see how long that stays, depending on how Rhode Island does.
The zone was so effective in that second quarter, holding Rhode Island to 13 points.
It absolutely was.
Magassa was begging for the rock. Instead, Hyman off the screen. Davis gives space. That's way off on the 3.
It was a high arcing shot there by Davis.
And a foul on Dutat. That's her second, fighting for the rebound.
We'll keep an eye on foul trouble. Rhode Island's not that deep in the post, and most of their post players have 2 fouls at this point.
There's one of the best for Rhode Island on the bench right now. Maya Toure getting evaluated.
Right, looks like she's just going to get that ankle retaped based on what I'm seeing, but I'm sure Coach Reese wants to get her back in as soon as possible before it stiffens up.
I'm not a doctor, but Tammy Reese played a doctor in a movie 20 years ago, just to note, as Aziaha James misses the layup. What's the doctor prescribed here for Hyman on the run? Splits the defense. Missed layup. And now Rivers has it. Saniya with all the speed in the world. Coast to coast. Give her the N1.
Wow, you can just see she is faster than anybody else on the court. She broke through 3 Rhode Island players. And she's showing that emotion, that passion that you need right now for NC State.
There is speed, and then there's super speed.
Right, she went by Magassa, Davis, and then Phillips tried to stop her. None of them could accomplish the task. And look at that excitement right there. So impressive.
This is an NC State team that has trailed for the entire second quarter, essentially the whole game. They've led for 20 seconds.
Right, and I think right now you can still see some frustration on the NC State sidelines, but you got to just look at this like a new game. It's a 2-point game and try and win it from this point.
With Toure in foul trouble and also injured, let's see who can step up for Rhode Island as Toure returns to the bench. Hyman into the double. Phillips is trapped as this defense becomes pressured.
Great double team there by Collins. Got it out of her hands.
Phillips the 3, late in the clock. That's a huge triple.
Yeah, that's her second 3 of the game, and we know she's the all-time leading 3-point shooter at Rhode Island by percentage. Even though she struggled early in the year, she has got
77 threes last year. What a weapon for the Rams.
Yeah, she's got a great stroke.
Hayes draws a huge foul on Magassa. That's her 3rd.
That's 3. That's huge because Rhode Island's offense and defense, to be honest, runs through Magassa. So when you can get her out of the game, that changes the entire complexity of what Rhode Island wants to do. Here she goes to take a seat.
And Magassa pointing, say, that's my fault.
Right, right.
You got to know the foul situation.
Right, sometimes you just got to keep your hands up, and if you give up a basket, you're too worthy. You're too important to stay on the floor. Oh!
Whoa! That
Wow.
ball did not go in.
Incredible roll from that basket. I don't think I've ever seen a ball last that long and not fall.
Here's the second free throw for the birthday girl, and this time she hits it. That's her first point.
Yeah, for Madison Hayes.
Oh, pardon me, Aziaha James' birthday today, turning 21.
Yeah, Madison James' birthday's next week, actually. She shares her birthday with my daughter, November 26th.
Small world for Thanksgiving week.
That's right.
3 minutes into the second half, Rhode Island hanging on to a 4-point lead. This is not a team that chucks up the triple, only 3 of 13 tonight. Hyman on the crossover, sizes up Rivers. What a bucket.
Wow, we know Saniya Rivers is an incredible defensive player, so for Hyman to be able to sort of shake her down like that and elevate, she came to play tonight.
And between possessions, Rivers took out her gum. She was locked in, right?
Yeah.
Didn't want to get distracted.
Rhode Island with the zone here.
Off on the birthday triple. Rebound, Collins. Mimi misses, and Toure's got it. Up ahead now to Phillips. She's a threat. Phillips drives in, wanted a foul, and what an emotional response there for NC State.
Great job by Madison Hayes.
Rivers and 1.
And the crowd goes wild off of that one. Saniya Rivers trying to take over this game. You saw it against UConn in a close game where she scored 33. She's trying to do it in the second half here against Rhode Island.
How about this block, though, by NC State?
Very good job. Madison Hayes was all ball right there. You know, it's always a risk when you put that hand down, but it was just smack right on the leather.
And then Rivers has done this twice tonight in transition.
I think Rhode Island might have caught a break there.
That foul was not on Toure.
Not on Toure.
It was the second foul on the guard instead. So Davis with 2.
They could have called it on either person right there, either lady. And Toure was able to escape without damage.
What an important possession for Rhode Island. And instead a turnover. James on the run. The step through. The foul. And free throws for Aziaha James.
That is exactly Coach Reese on Rhode Island was trying to prevent turnovers because NC State takes it and gets in transition. They're so fast, and right there you saw Aziaha James was able to go coast to coast. Couldn't quite get the finish. Here we'll see the steal first of all. Right there by Saniya Rivers. Now she gets Hyman sort of in the spin cycle and draws the foul. There's the birthday girl with the free throw right there.
5 points on her birthday. Turns 21. Worth noting, Kayla Jones on her birthday a couple years ago scored 22 on her 22nd birthday.
There you go.
That was a note from Maddie Smith, the excellent sports information director
yeah,
today.
She's very good with the NC State Wolfpack.
I want to thank Michaela Benford, the SID for Rhode Island as well. Always helpful in these lead-ups.
They definitely are. They provide so much good information for us to share with you guys, the audience.
Shot clock to 10 and a rockin' and rollin' Reynolds. DeBraz gets to her spot. Big jumper for Rhode Island.
Wow, that was a good job using the ball screen to get just a little bit of space. Quiet this crowd.
Perfect pass. Hayes, a little off balance and couldn't hit. Rebound Rhode Island with a foul on Collins. And that's the first foul of the quarter for NC State.
And it's hard to get upset with Mimi right there because she's just trying to go for the ball and it won't put him on the line. But I tell you, we've got quite a game going here. Rhode Island with a 3-point lead. As
we'll
we go
come
into
back for the rest of the third after this.
A first child can be stressful. So to
They came on to win.
Tammy Reese has rebuilt this program at Rhode Island. 2 straight WNIT. She's the reigning coach of the year. And now her Rams club is the preseason favorite in the A-10.
And we're seeing exactly why. They have come to play. They are a strong squad.
Wow, Toure had an opening in the paint but couldn't find it. So Rivers in transition. NC State riding with bench points and riding the point with a reach-in foul on Hyman.
One thing we've seen NC State do the last couple of possessions, when Toure gets the ball, they're doubling hard post to post. They're going to force it out of her hands and make somebody else from Rhode Island beat them.
Mimi Collins will head to the free throw line. You see Tammy Reese, always coaching, All-American guard at Virginia. Part of 3 Final Four teams for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and she talked about that game that we just mentioned. She's like, it was the best game she'd ever played in with the Wahoos, and it was a hostile environment that day. And we're seeing the NC State crowd right now start to get into it and get that same rhythm. There's just something magic about this Reynolds Coliseum, and I think you'll see the crowd get louder and louder as we get into the fourth quarter.
Collins 2 for 2, so she's 2 points away from 1,000 in her career.
NC State going to throw a little press after this free throw.
Toure gets it across the timeline. Dangerous pass to Davis. Rhode Island, though, is not committed to big turnovers, just 6 tonight.
NC State with a zone out of that press.
DeBraz into traffic. Toure from deep. Nice 2 late in the clock.
Boy, she is a talented player, and right there you gave her a little bit of space and she knocked it down. The Rams just keep NC State at bay. They're just holding on to that. Now the Rams are going to go with the zone.
Rhode Island has led since the opening minute of this game. Dominant performance on the road. Collins and the Wolfpack look to claw back. James in attack mode. Rivers the crossover to the free throw line and short. Whoa, little contact there, no foul. Hyman in transition. Nice lob. Magassa into traffic.
What happened there was River Baldwin sort of got caught up on the offensive side when they had Toure fall down, and now nobody was back to guard Magassa. The lead goes back to 5.
What if I told you Rhode Island has more fast break points than the number 14 team in the country?
That's incredible because we know how much NC State likes to run.
Instead, the Wolfpack working every second of the clock here with Collins. An in-between pass and shot, and that's a turnover for NC State. What has Rhode Island done to shift this game?
I don't know. They're packing it in, so they're making it hard for that dribble penetration, and NC State's just not making them pay. They're just not getting any open 3-point looks. I still think I'd like to see them drive and dish.
This is Rhode Island 3 straight buckets out of the media timeout to go back up 5. Hyman on the switch. Here's DeBraz. She's too short.
You just see the confidence growing from Rhode Island, even with that missed shot.
Zoe Brooks, so electric, but missed the layup. Now Rhode Island wants to run with numbers.
They've got Torre if they can get it to her.
Didi has it stripped by Rivers.
Just lost control a little bit now. NC State's going to try and push.
This has become a track meet in the final 3 minutes. Brooks hits the jumper. And Zoe Brooks has been efficient in transition.
Yes, she has. They sort of lost her right there. She was all alone on the wing, and she just took her time and made the open shot.
Hyman is left alone and wisely pulls it up. Rhode Island is just 3 of 14 from deep.
Still zone there by NC State, packing it in.
Fresh off a huge win Friday at Brown. Another turnover for Rhode Island. And here's Brooks in a 3-point game. Brooks on the move. Rivers goes to the bucket. It's a 1-point game. Timeout, Rhode Island.
Nice job. Zoe Brooks drew all the defense, kicked it out, and Saniya Rivers, rather than taking the jump shot, she decided, I'm going to take it all the way to the hoop. Let's see Zoe Brooks here take it in deep.
NC State back on a week ago from this moment. All of a sudden, you look at Rhode Island up 1. There's a chance to follow this list of big upsets.
Right. It's really a testament to the parity of women's basketball these days. There's so many good players out there that they're being spread around the country, and they're able to make these upsets.
Jeff Minnie's Kansas State club with a huge upset at Iowa of Caitlin Clark a couple of days ago.
We saw his club here in the NCAA tournament against NC State a couple years ago.
DeBraz out of the timeout with NC State on a 4-0 run. Feeds Toure. Toure gets stripped, and that's offensive. Nice foul drawn by Maddie Cox, the freshman.
Wow, that's a huge play right there. That's 4 on Toure. That is their best player, and that is going to... They've decided to leave her in.
Magassa and Toure stay in with foul trouble. 3 Magassa, 4 Toure.
They're going to stay zone here. It looks like they are going to try and sub out Toure, but this could be a chance to get her fouled out before it happens. I would penetrate on her right here if I'm Saniya Rivers.
Now, I'm surprised Rivers isn't attacking in this spot. Instead, Brooks on the move. James, the shot fake. Nice bucket. NC State's first lead since the 7-minute mark of the first quarter.
Wow, and the crowd is letting them know about it right here. Another good penetrating dish. Got the bucket for James.
Final minute of the third. DeBraz off the screen. Gets to her spot. Toure with the 4 fouls. Spins. Comes up short.
The freshman Maddie Cox with a big defensive stop there for the Pack.
Rivers goes baseline. Nice tip by Phillips. It'll stay here.
It's interesting. Saniya Rivers loves that fake handoff there by Coach to try and drive, but Rhode Island's been on top of that all day. They're not falling for it.
This is a crucial 31 seconds for Rhode Island. Had a lead as big as 7 in this third quarter, but haven't scored in 3 minutes.
Rhode Island was able to get Toure off the floor, so she didn't get her 5th.
James falls down. That's a turnover, and the Rams can hold for the final shot. Hyman moving quickly.
Shot clock is off. The coaching staff's trying to get their attention to hold it. Now they've got it.
Both coaches making adjustments. Final 12 seconds. DeBraz finds Phillips. Big 3. Knocked in.
What a great job of executing there by Rhode Island.
Sophie Phillips with her 3rd 3 of the quarter, and Rhode Island's up 2.
Yeah.
10 points, the Syracuse transfer. 10 on the clock for DeBraz. Into Magassa. Gets it back. And now Rhode Island jumping with itself will lose possession.
Interesting to see NC State. They've gone with a slightly smaller lineup. They've got Cox and Collins in there instead of one of their true posts. And that way, here's Coach Tammy Reese talking to it. But there's Maddie Cox. She's in there. She had the hard double team, forced the turnover for NC State.
NC State has led just once since the opening 3 minutes. A chance to do it here. A club that has blistered opponents, winning by 30 points a game in the non-conference. Cox down low. Nearly dragged her pivot foot. Rivers takes advantage from 3.
NC State with their first three-pointer of the game gives them the lead by 1.
NC State with its first triple of the night. It had been a minute. And now Magassa into Collins. Magassa the spin. Nice bank shot. That's lovely.
Nice power move right there. Coach Moore is a little bit frustrated. NC State was not able to hold their ground.
Wolfpack at number 14 in the country, looking to avoid the upset. Rhode Island in foul trouble. Magassa has 3, Toure 4, and Cox an air ball. Hyman wanted to push. You see her waiting to get moving. A Rhode Island team that won 26 games a year ago just missed the NCAA tournament, lost in the A-10 finals. Here's Magassa, the mismatch. Nice pass and the finish. What a find by Magassa.
Very good. The double team came again, and Dutat was able to.
And
nice.
Dutat steps in front of it there.
Yes, she did. She was able to cut to the basket. NC State was able to steal it a couple of possessions ago, but she was quicker on this one and got the layup before.
Look at that thing.
That's
I
almost
must have watched some Mbappe growing up. Some no-look Frenchman firing that pass.
Right, the blind pass and hit it for the easy bucket.
Magassa is from Moussan-sur-Orge, France. My accent's not great, I will admit. One of 6 Frenchmen on the roster.
And they're having a big impact on today's game.
Collins down low. And drag the pivot foot. That's a traveling. How about the post presence down low of Rhode Island?
Right, NC State, they just haven't been able to make the post moves that they've worked on. And you got to give credit to Rhode Island because, again, they've just been very physical.
You see Wolfpack West there in a bit of disbelief here with 7 minutes to play. His club has won 54 straight home games against unranked opponents. DeBraz to travel. Actually got away with it and throws it out of bounds. They'll stay here.
Yeah, quite a break for Rhode Island because she was falling out of bounds and threw it, bounced it off of Mimi Collins to retain possession. 12 on the shot clock here, something to keep an eye on. NC State in the man-to-man now so they can stay aggressive.
There's Rivers looking for the steal. Hyman into her bag, a bit off.
Here's where NC State's going to look to push. Try and beat that zone down the floor.
A top 10 fast break scoring team in the country has been held at bay so far. Rivers to Collins. Nice jumper. We got a 1-point game.
And that for Mimi Collins is her 1,000th point. A big basket here.
129 games at Collins' career, and she crosses the 1,000-point threshold. What a moment for the 5th-year senior. Now it's a 1-point contest. Hyman into some contact and a blocking foul on Rivers. Worth noting, only the 5th team foul for NC State all night.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a good sign. Sometimes that's a bad sign that you're not playing aggressive enough. You really want to try and put some pressure when the refs are not calling. It is tight. Then you can be more aggressive.
And congratulations here to Mimi Collins crossing the 1,000-point threshold. She kind of knew it there, flicked the finger.
Yep, she knew, and I know that whenever you have a milestone like that, it's so much more fun to celebrate after a win. So I'm sure that's her focus right now.
Between Texas, Maryland, and State, that looks like a pie with all the different slices. Tennessee, great point.
NC State very aggressive in the man-to-man now.
Hyman into some traffic. Offensive board and a strip by Cox. Rivers, this is where she's at her best. Spins, offensive.
Incredible defense there by Rhode Island.
Inez DeBraz draws the charge.
She guessed the spin move was coming. It's almost like in football when you guess the player's going to go one way. Watch her slide over. Well, here's first. There we go. So Saniya's going to drive, and she thinks she's going to have the spin move.
She guessed that move.
Yeah, but you know what? If you rewatch that, I believe her feet were inside the restricted circle. They might have missed that one.
But Allen wants to get this ball in before the NC State crowd boos them to death.
Absolutely.
Listen to this place.
Coach Reese talked about it being a hostile environment in 1991, and she's getting another taste of it today.
After Coach Reese in Virginia won a triple overtime thriller here in Raleigh 32 years ago. DeBraz operates with 10. Off the screen. DeBraz to blocked. Here's Brooks. The talented All-American freshman. drives in. That's offensive.
Oh,
wait a second.
wow.
That's going the other way. And DeBraz is special, drawing those charges.
Yes, that was huge right there. The crowd very disappointed. Coach Moore is incensed over that call right there. Says he's missed 2 in a row.
And her feet, that restricted arc is not a thing in women's college basketball this year.
Okay, all right, they changed that.
That rule has changed this year. That's a men's restricted arc. The women's is literally right underneath the basket.
I see, okay.
So don't be fooled by the visual.
Gotcha. Well, right there, Zoe Brooks thought she had the three-point play to take the lead. Now this crowd is really going to react. Rhode Island, let's see if they can keep their composure.
5 minutes to play. Phillips down low. Magassa. Nice pass. Toure extends the Rhode Island lead. What a pass from Magassa.
It is Magassa now. She's expecting that double team and knows she can drop off that pass.
Back the other way. NC State gets a bucket.
There's James with the penetration and the finish. We're seeing the pace pick up a little bit. Both teams are getting lathered up.
Rhode Island has not had a Power 5 win in 2 years. This would be a statement road victory. DeBraz. Toure playing with the 4 fouls. Fades away, and Toure hits it.
Toure taking the freshman deep there, getting the bucket and keeping that lead. Three-point lead for the Rams.
Look at Zoe Brooks operating this offense as a true freshman. What a big three. Cox the rebound. Collins is stripped by Toure.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too unselfish there. Maddie Cox got the rebound. I thought she had an open putback.
Under 5 minutes to go. What an upset brewing here at Reynolds Coliseum. Toure feeds Dee Davis, the transfer from Manhattan. DeBraz short.
Good defense there by Brooks.
And NC State can tie it with a 3.
Rivers keeping things under control. Looks like Rhode Island has gone back to man-to-man.
Wes Moore calling out the plays here.
Wes Moore loves to play possession-to-possession basketball here, and let's see what he comes up with.
Rivers versus Davis. Advantage Rivers.
Wow, sometimes when you get a player like Saniya Rivers, you say, forget the plays, everybody get out of the way and let her go one-on-one. It's exactly what just happened there. Cut the lead to 1.
Down to 4 minutes to play here in Reynolds. Phillips has 3 triples tonight. Davis, 1v1, blows by Brooks. And Cox, the last to touch it, it'll stay here. An immediate timeout. Buckle up, hold your breath, do all of those things. We got a ball game, 1 point difference as we take the final media timeout.
You want to know the truth? Even legends need a little.
What an entertaining second all-time meeting, Rhode Island and NC State. And it's been tight since the start. NC State had a 1-point lead in the first quarter, and it's been all Rhode Island since.
It really has. They've been aggressive. They've been taking it to NC State, and just we thought going into this game that they had the talent, they had the physical players to stay up with NC State, but then you look on paper, you say, well, this is number 14 team in the country. Surely they'll pull away, but Rhode Island has shown that they're worthy of being the preseason favorite of the Atlantic 10.
NC State plus 10 in terms of total free throws, but it's Rhode Island who's made 3 more threes. That's the real difference. 9 on the shot clock now for the Rams. Toure's pass is tipped and a steal. Brooks out to Rivers. On the mismatch. Rivers missed it. And falling to the floor. That's a traveling for Hyman. Not a jump ball.
Great job by Maddie Cox and Saniya Rivers. They stayed aggressive on the rebound. They sort of got a little bit of the ball here. We'll see. Saniya with a nice drive. Just does not go down. But NC State stays with it and forces the turnover.
Fresh clock for the Wolfpack. James created some space and a 1-point lead.
That was another sort of like a one-on-one play there on the inbounds. James with the shake and bake.
Ricky Bobby action in the final 3 minutes. What does Rhode Island have in store? Down 1. Hyman kicks. Toure misses. Tipped out. Offensive board, DeBraz.
Nice job. Hyman was able to get the tip. You got to feel like they're going to go to Toure as much as possible.
On the crossover. Can't hit. Rebound, Rhode Island to Tots. And now Hyman settles with 3 minutes left. In the hands of the Syracuse transfer. Now Toure. Detot is stolen by Brooks. Zoe in transition. James fouled.
This roof was about to go off of this place if she could have finished that. But you saw again the double team, and Zoe Brooks was able to be quick enough to get the steal. NC State with the 1-point lead. Oh, there we go, Zoe Brooks.
What a smart read by Brooks.
And James taking it to DeBraz.
Aziaha James at the free throw line. Knocks in the free throw on her birthday. Back in double figures now.
We've seen NC State do some press out of free throws. It'll be interesting to see if they try it here.
Largest lead of the game for NC State at 3.
That's an incredible stat. NC State just back in the man-to-man.
The most important possession of the night for Rhode Island, searching for a top 25 win. Hyman around the screen. Hyman to her spot. Huge bucket for the Syracuse transfer.
She's playing with so much confidence right there. Just pulls up and sticks it.
Hyman's in double figures with 12 points.
Rhode Island with the zone here. NC State going to try and run the baseline with James. Let's see if she can cut back across.
Rivers has been huge in this fourth quarter, orchestrating the comeback for the Wolfpack, who were down 10 in the second half. Shot fake, open three, knocked in. Aziaha James with a huge one.
Great job by NC State finding her with a huge shot for the Pack.
Now a 4-point lead. Hyman. Magassa gets it back. Shot clock to 11. Magassa heaves, rebound. Magassa misses the layup. That was a clean look.
97 seconds left here, NC State. Going against the zone again.
The Wolfpack have held Rhode Island one of the last 7 shooting. And now it's in the hands of the National Player of the Week.
Looks like actually Rhode Island's gone to man-to-man. They're going to go one-on-one here with Rivers.
Rivers, crossover. Cox the shot fake and travels. Big freshman mistake.
Tough call there. She made a nice move, but just slid the pivot foot. 2-possession game right now.
Madison Hayes re-enters for Cox, the defensive substitute.
NC State again with the small lineup, 4 guards.
Huge possession for Rhode Island. DeBraz gets it back. Final minute here in Reynolds. Phillips wants the 3. And a turnover. 15th and the biggest for Rhode Island.
Rhode Island in the man-to-man. Looks like they're going to foul.
Saniya Rivers taking over in this second half with 18, wanting a charge. And now the foul will send Rivers to the free throw line.
Coach Reese was over there begging for a foul, and Hyman did not see her, so she was just playing tight defense.
Actually, that's only the second team foul, so not in the bonus just yet.
Oh, wow, so they're going to need to foul 3 more times. So here's the thing, as a coach, you know you can be extremely aggressive because you actually want the foul, so they're going to really go for the steal.
James to trigger it in. NC State can afford a turnover and a timeout. Much more to talk this over with 37 seconds left.
Yeah, and you see right here, NC State, they're going to have to get it in successfully 3 straight times. And all the while, Rhode Island is playing with as much pressure as they want because they don't care if they get a foul call. So you've seen Westmore a lot of times try and get his players away and then send somebody like for a home run pass to the basket. But based on where the ball is, that's not going to be as easy. It could be a little curl lob all the way to the basket, or it could just be trying to hit the safety valve. Mimi Collins right there came right to the ball. They missed her for a split second.
And how about NC State making 5 of its last 7 shots after a slow offensive day?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a very confident team, and that's what makes you number 14 in the country, is that you believe when you get in these positions, you're going to make the play. Rhode Island's the one trying to figure out how to get the big win. NC State's done it. Oh, there's the home run.
Cut Rivers, and 1. Saniya Rivers puts the Wolfpack on her back.
And that's exactly what we just talked about. Just pull everyone away from the basket. Try and do that home run pass. You could see it coming. Westmore loves that in that situation. And that's a huge basket. Saniya's got a chance to push it to a 3-possession game.
Westmore has noted the leadership of the point guard this year, Saniya Rivers. Well, that time it's playmaking. And extends the lead to 7. Timeout, Rhode Island.
One of the things about women's basketball, you see it in the NBA as well, is when you call a timeout late in the game, you get to advance the ball into the front court. So that allows teams to sort of make plays quicker. You don't have to dribble the ball all the way up the court.
NC State in a 12-2 run, and this game has flipped in an instant in the last 3 minutes.
Absolutely. I mean, this whole fourth quarter, the first 5 minutes, you really felt like Rhode Island, every time NC State did something great, they had an answer. They had an answer, but in the last 3 minutes, NC State has just locked down on defense, made the plays on offense. I think Coach Reese right now is talking about how can they get a 3-point shot, and we know Sophie Phillips is the one to go to. So NC State, you got to believe, is going to switch every screen they have on Sophie Phillips. The one person you got to look out for, Torre, has got that 3-point shot, and sometimes post players aren't as active to guard that.
Saniya Rivers taking over in this second half. 21 points to lead the Wolfpack. Now Hyman needs a bucket. Hayes, great defensively. Pressure. Hyman heaves and short. And that foul will wrap it up. How about the defensive effort of Madison Hayes?
Right, she is such a lockdown defender. You know, when you look at the stat sheet with Madison, you don't always see it stuff with points and assists and all that. But every time she's on the floor, NC State is better, and she makes defensive plays like that.
Rhode Island 1 foul away from the bonus. Will have to commit a foul here.
Rhode Island thought it was free throws. They're rushing up to cover.
Remember, Toure has 4. Hyman has 4.
Keep an eye out for that home run again here.
And now Rhode Island trying to sub in a couple of options for those foul trouble.
Very smart job by Coach Reese right there, knowing that Magasa's got 4, she can't give one.
Big possession for NC State, up 7. James heaves it deep. Brooks hangs on and hits it. That'll wrap things up here in Raleigh.
Absolutely. NC State with the second home run play. Huge bucket for the Pack, and it looks like they're going to survive quite a scare from the Rhode Island Rams.
Trailing by as many as 10 in the second half. NC State comes storming back. Last chance for Rhode Island. Toure lobs it downstairs. And the clock runs out on the upset bid for the Rams. NC State defends home turf, a 55th straight home win.